Yes, I'm going to tell you why you're still out of shape. I'm going to tell you my story first because it's going to resonate with you a lot. And I used to be fat as hell like 6 years ago when I started my fitness journey. I had zero discipline. All I was doing was just eating junk food, playing video games, no exercise at all. And then I ended up being fat, 230, 240 pounds. And when I started going to the gym, I had no idea what I was doing. But I was just still showing up, and then I ended up becoming skinny fat after a couple months of training because, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just going to the gym, again, poor diet, and until I figured this couple things out that I'm going to mention in this video, when I started implementing them, I started fixing them, I finally became jacked. Okay, now you're like, why am I still out of shape? Okay, I'm going to tell you. The number one thing, and this is very important because this applies to every single transformation that you can make in your life, whether it's physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, whatever, right? And I've mentioned this in my previous videos, but it's your identity and your self-image. It all starts internally, right? How do you view yourself? How do you see yourself as a person? Who are you to yourself, right? So if you don't know who are you, who do you want to become, then it's going to be very, very hard to implement certain systems, to implement certain habits, to implement certain schedules and structure to your life in order to transform yourself, right? Because you don't know who you are and you don't know who you want to become. And you don't know how you see yourself. You don't understand, like, okay, I have these certain beliefs, I have this certain mind frame, and it doesn't allow me to be operating at my best, right? So what do I mean by that? So do you see yourself as a fit person, okay? And you may be like, okay, I'm not fit, so I'm not going to see myself as a fit person. Stupid. So until you cannot be fit mentally, you cannot be fit physically, okay? The reason I was consistent at the gym, even though I was still not making crazy progress, but I was still showing up because I saw myself as a fit person. I was like, okay, what would that fit version do? Okay, he's going to be like training 5-6 times a week. He's going to be active every day. He's going to be eating clean. I wasn't doing the eating clean part, but I was showing up pretty much 5-6 days a week from the start with ease. And the reason was because I was like, okay, the identity, that's the person I want to become. I chose who I want to become, and I started working backwards. So I'm like, okay, that person, that version, that guy does this. Okay, so I started updating my identity. I was like, okay, I'm fit internally, right? Physically, I'm still getting there. I'm fat. I'm trying to change things. I'm learning things. But the will and the self-image started changing because I'm a different person now internally. And this applies to everything. You cannot be, attractive to women if you don't see yourself as attractive to women. You cannot be wealthy physically, externally, materially if you're not wealthy internally, right? So all of these things you need to change within first. And with fitness, being in shape, it all starts with your identity and self-image. And the reason I mention this every single time, and this is the first thing that I mention, is that because if your internal aspects are not aligned with your goals, you're never going to make consistent long-term progress. And even if you do, you're not going to be able to maintain it, okay? Because eventually, it's just you're going to fall out of the whole thing because you're not aligned. Your goals, your identity are not aligned. Your habits and your identity are not aligned, and you're just going to be like crumbled. You're going to fall, like even if you make some progress, you're going to lose it all. And it happened to me in the past with different things, especially with YouTube. I'm going to tell you some story because when I was making content, I was just still seeing myself as this like guy that's trying to, develop himself in certain things like fitness-wise. I was like, even with posting content in general, I wasn't really seeing myself as a creator. And I felt like I need to hit certain milestones in my personal life to be able to make content. I was like, no, that's a limiting mindset. And a lot of people, they don't do that. Many of the people, you don't have to be perfect to start making content. And that was a limiting mindset. I was like, okay, I'm just going to put that away. I'm going to update my self-image. I'm going to change it. And I started posting consistently and I haven't stopped, right? So you have to change your identity and your self-image. And here's the thing. After you master this, there are a couple more things that you need to work on because you're going to start getting that self-image and identity right, but you need to progress to the next level. And the next level is that the reason you're out of shape is you have no goals. You have no detailed goals. And the reason I put it in my notes, I said no detailed goals is because A lot of people say, oh, I want to be fit. Oh, I want to be fit. I want to just, gain muscle. Okay, but that's very general. I need you to be specific. Okay, say I want to be 200 pounds, 12% body fat. I want my arms to be this size. I want to have six pack. I want to see my veins here. I want to see my forearms defined. Like, this is very detailed. You can say, I want to have like 3 clean meals every single day. You want to have great recovery. All these things, when you start putting all these goals together, then you're going to be naturally fit, right? You want your goals to be like a systematic thing that's going to help you to get to your goal, right? Because if you set your goal to be, let's just say, oh, I want to have a six pack, right? It's very wide. Okay, you want to have a six pack, but like how are you going to get there, right? Set your goals as the system that's going to get you there, right? So you're going to say, oh, I'm going to train 6 days a week. I'm going to eat clean 3 meals. I'm going to eat 3 clean meals a day. When you start doing this, when you start setting clear goals, you're going to be saying, okay, I'm going to be drinking this much water. I'm going to be taking my creatine every day. All those things add up. And because of the systematic, detailed goals, smaller goals, you're just going to be naturally hitting your big goal, right? In the long term, the more smaller you can make your big goals, you can make it digestible in smaller parts, and you can hit them. That's just gonna make you hitting your goals so much easier, right? So a lot of the people tend to just make like these huge goals with no systems, with just, saying, oh, I wanna be fit. Okay, you wanna be fit, but like details. So be detailed with your goals, make it in smaller parts, and combined with your identity and your self-image, you're gonna be able to like make huge progress, right? And after that, this is another thing that I noticed common with a lot of my clients. I noticed with myself, I noticed with like just everyday people, is that they have no pain or urgency when they wanna start being in shape, right? And what do I mean by that? They still, either they don't wanna recognize, or they don't wanna understand, or they don't wanna pinpoint certain things, just like giving them pain and something that's gonna give them urgency, right? For example, I'll give you myself. Like when I was young, I was like, oh, I wanna get girls. I wanna get girls. That was like my pain. I'm like, I can't get girls. And when you're like that, you're like, something is bothering you, something is painful to you, you're gonna make that change. And a lot of the people haven't felt enough pain to start making those changes, because you're like, oh, like, I'm comfortable. Like, yeah, like, I'm out of shape, but like this thing doesn't really bother me, right? So you have to kind of understand, like, okay, let's find that pain. What's like bothering me? Like, okay, you when you find that pain, when you find a sense of urgency, and it doesn't necessarily have to be pain, but I would say pain is the easiest way to find that sense of urgency. But you can find sense of urgency in different things. You can say like, oh, like if I don't get fit, if I don't get my shit together, I'm going to disappoint my family. And you're going to be feeling like your family is going to be disappointed because of you letting them down. You're just going to burn that, like, keep that fire in you. You're going to be like extra motivated to start doing work, and you're going to be like, pushing to do your best. So I would say find that sense of pain and urgency, and you got to go within with yourself. It can be like a certain event that happened in your life. Like some person may have said some messed up things to you, and you were like, you know what, I'm going to prove this person wrong. And that's going to be the pain point. That's going to be the sense of urgency for you. And until you don't get to your goal, you can't be resting, So go within and find those pain points. Find those things that are going to give you urgency and use them to get you up, right? So it can be one thing, it can be many things, right? But write them down and really internalize it, like really feel it, like, damn, this shit hurts. And if I don't become in shape, like, this pain is going to be there, So apply these 3 things that I said. Again, identity and self-image, master that first. That's the most important thing. Number 2, have clear and also detailed and smaller goals, right? To hit your bigger goal. And the last one is you need to find your sense of like urgency and find those pain points in order to, be in shape. And if you apply this, I guarantee you're going to make massive progress to your goals. And listen, I went from fat to fit. I made my own fitness transformation. If you need help to get jacked, if you want to build muscle, and if you really want to like truly elevate your mindset and get your identity right, get your self-image right, and all those things, DM me, coach, on Instagram, and I can help you with that. I've been coaching people for many years. So if you need help, I got you. And thank you for watching.